I'm feeling good.
Oh yes, I'm feeling good. It might only be Wolfsberger, but hey, it's 4 goals to 1 away from home in the Europa League. So I'm not going to let it dampen my spirits knowing who the opposition are. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hollie's Hotspurs. Today I'll be talking about that 4-1 win against Wolfsberger away from home. It was a must-win game. We actually managed to get the job done. If you're new to the channel, please put a like on this video, comment you thought the game below and hit that subscribe button. The goal to 1k is on, and if you've missed it, in recent times I've done 2 live videos with some amazing guests, so please make sure you go check them out below. But anyway, back to this game. Lineup comes out and it consists of Lloris in goal with a back 4. That is Matt Doherty, Toby, Dyer and Davies. Obviously I'm happy Toby's in the side tonight. He'll be that commanding presence. Dyer will hopefully fall under his wing because, let's be honest, Wolfsberger shouldn't have too much going forward and we should be able to cope with Dyer at the back with Toby and obviously Matt Doherty. And we won't really talk about Davies because we all know how we all feel about Davies at the moment. We then see that there's a combination just in front of that back 4 that consists of Winks and Sissoko. Obviously the ideal candidate would be Højbjerg, but that man has been worked to the bone recently and I think he deserves a rest. We all know how we feel about Winks at the moment, me included, as he's looking at me behind my shoulder giving me death stares. He hasn't been the best. Tonight we've got to get behind them and hopefully Winks will be able to put a good performance in against Wolfsberger because let's be honest, they're 6th in the Austrian League. They're not going to be a lot about them. We need to get this job done and hopefully Winks tonight will be on his A game. Then in front of Winks and Sissoko, we see Dele Alli is back in the starting 11. Obviously, we've seen cameos of him in recent weeks, and to be honest with you, he hasn't really done it for me. But tonight, I'll get behind him, and hopefully, he is the real deal tonight. Hopefully, setting up, the players are up, wide, and in front. Which leads me on to another player that we need to discuss that's been heavily talked about, and that is Gareth Bale. We spoke about Gareth Bale the other night on my live stream. It went a bit like this.
You know, like the guy has had chances throughout the whole season to, you know, show us these cameos, show us these glimpses of greatness. And it just hasn't happened. When we signed Gareth Bale, we all said we will give him to November, December, you know, build up his fitness, then we want to see the best Gareth Bale. But as fans, we're still making excuses for him and shifting it to March, April. Before they've run out of excuses, the season's going to be over.
And to be honest with you, he needs to start showing these performances because like we said on the show, how long do you wait for him to actually show himself? So tonight, I'm hoping it's going to be one of those nights, and especially against Wolfsberger, it's got to be the time to do it. We see that Lucas Moura is on the other side. Hopefully, he'll be doing some darting runs, releasing the ball right on time, which he did against West Brom, to free up Sonny, who's up front. Hopefully, Sonny can get some goals in front, and then we can bring on the likes of Vinny and Scarlett. I'm a bit miffed to the fact that they're both strikers and neither of them are playing, but hopefully that's just a reserve and we will bring them on. It'd be great to see Dane Scarlett because he is a very young prospect. Then we go to the bench and to be honest with you, it's stacked. There's so many players that Jose Mourinho has taken with him. There's a lot of young players in there, so hopefully like Dane Scarlett and a few others like Lavernier, we will see them tonight. But obviously there's the normal culprits, which is Lamela, Ndombele and Højbjerg. Hopefully we won't need to use them as much. Hopefully I think Sonny will come off if he manages to get through in front and we can stick on one of those strikers that are waiting on the bench. So to be honest with you, this is a game we need to win. We need to start from the off and get as many away goals as possible. Game kicks off and like we all kind of knew, we had to start this game off from the blocks. And off from the blocks we did because in the first 5 minutes we see that Sonny has a lovely chance. He manages to lose his man in the box, does a bit of shimmying, has a shot and it just goes wide. So they were making me feel happy for the first couple of minutes. We're having a lot of the ball and in the 14th minute we were rewarded. Take a look at this. Oh yes, what a brilliant goal from Sonny. In the 14th minute we see there's some lovely combination play all across the park, but it finally finds Matt Doherty, who manages to see the run of Bale, who points his finger. Ball is slipped in behind to Bale. Bale then crosses it in the air and then Sonny dives with a lovely little header, hitting it to the far corner of the goal. Bang, it is 1-0 Tottenham, and I was hoping that we'd go on and get a second because we like all things. We know that if we get one goal and sit back, it's not going to end well for us. And that was the case because in the 19th minute we see once again that we are firing on all cylinders. This is when Lucas has the ball, sees the run of Dele in behind on the other side this time, slips him in, a lovely bit of skill from Dele, manages to nutmeg the Wolfsberger defender. He's through on goal and he has a shot, and now to be honest with him it is a very tight angle, but he has a shot and the keeper manages to save. We then have a corner as the ball goes out, but Eric Dyer rises and sends it over. But again, they are promising signs, and it's good to see tonight that Bale and Dele are out there trying to prove their worth. However, we kind of knew in the back of our minds that this defence is a little bit shaky regardless whoever we're playing. And in the 22nd minute, Wolfsberger do get a very good chance. This is when the defence kind of gets turned inside out amongst itself, and the Wolfsberger player is inside our box, manages to send, I think it was Dyer one way. He has a shot and it's well saved by Hugo. To be fair to him, it was quite straight at him, but still, he manages to find the wiggle worm to get his shot away. However, although I said it's Bale's time to shine, it definitely was, because take a look at this. This is what we've been missing. I know it's against Wolfsberger, and I know we can't forget who we're playing. A team that are 6th in the Austrian league and probably aren't very good. But still, regardless, Bale has come out tonight to prove to everyone that he has got that flair still in him. It was a brilliant worked goal, again down that right-hand side. Bale has fed the ball once again from Matt Doherty. He manages to chop the ball, sending the Wolfsberger defender one way. He has enough room, bang, whacks it in the back of the goal, and it was a nice, lovely finish. And obviously, spirits are rising high because the celebration was pretty cool. So yes, we sit at 2-0 and we haven't stepped off the gas. It's actually quite nice to watch Tottenham winning for once. However, in the 29th minute again, this shaky defence, even though they haven't really had to deal with much, was proven once again that we can't lack concentration. This is when a ball from wide finds itself into our box, again from another cross. It manages to find the head of a Wolfsberger player who heads it goalwards. Lloris has a reaction save, manages to tap it onto the bar and it pings out. I think it was a very good reaction save from Hugo to keep it still at 2-0. In the 33rd minute, it is literally just the Lucas Moura show. Take a look at this. Man manages to take on everyone and Janan, pretty much, managing to weave in and out, and then has a lovely finish at the end of it. I mean, he's really living in these European nights, isn't he? He's still reliving that night in Amsterdam, but hey, he's managed to come out and show it again tonight. Who cares who the opposition is? You need to play who's in front of you. And we knew it would be a fairly easy game, but still, the players have to go out there and prove themselves. Lucas Moura tonight, I think you've done that, lad. 39th minute, again, we see that Lindell manages to have enough wiggle room to have a shot off outside our box, but luckily for us it does go wide, and that pretty much concludes the first half. It was a great all-round performance. We see that we go into the break at 3-0, and I said we needed a lot of goals. I think now we need to get Sonny off and stick one of our strikers on. I'd love to see Vinny. I've also loved to see Dave Scarlett, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But it was a good half in the sense that we managed to keep it all together. There was lovely combination plays all over the park, and we were doing the business. We just need to remember to keep focus at the back, because I feel there is a goal within Wolfsburg, and I feel like it will be us again that lets them have that opening. So we just need to keep focus and just carry on trying to make sure that they don't get a goal. Whistle for the second half goes, and we see that Vinny has come onto the pitch and replaced by Sonny, which was a smart move considering we have West Ham at the weekend. On the 49th minute, we weren't stopping because there was a lovely combination play by the front 3 and 4, which was between Bale, Vinny, Lucas and Dele. Bale's the last person to have the ball. He has a shot and it just goes wide, but they are promising sides from the off. However, saying that, we kind of knew, and I knew as well, and I think all Spurs fans knew, there was definitely an individual error in the side, no matter how we play. And to be honest, tonight, Sissoko was at fault. Now, in recent weeks, I think the penalties given against us have been quite harsh, but there has been contact, and tonight was no different. It was very harsh. Sissoko steps across the Wolfsberg player and he does bring him down, so unfortunately it goes to a penalty. Penalty stricken by Lindell, the captain, and he sends Hugo the wrong way and it goes into the back of the net, and then we sit 3-1. So not the best start to our half, but hey, it feels like at the moment we are individual errors FC. But hey, hopefully that was the dodginess out the window. I'd just like to highlight as well, there have been 3 pens in 3 games and also 4 pens in 5 games. It is not good enough, and I keep repeating myself, there is too much deadwood in this side and not enough quality, which is highlighted again tonight. But hey, we still sat 3-1 in front. Then see that Jose makes a switch up. This is on the 63rd minute when we see that Bale comes off, Lamela comes on, and Lucas comes off and Bergwijn comes on. I'd like to point out, I think Bale has played fantastically tonight. Obviously, we all know the the opposition isn't the best, but hey, he's come out, shown his flair, he got the job done, and managed to get a goal for his name and an assist. So it's great work from Bale tonight. The same with Lucas. Obviously, that goal where he managed to take on everyone was sublime, and he comes off and Bergwijn makes way. 65th minute, we see Lamela straight on the ball, driving. He's got a lot of confidence at the moment, and so be it, because he has been playing well. Manages to slot the ball through to a running Bergwijn, but unfortunately he overhits it and the keeper comes out and claims it. Again, it's that little bit of sharpness that we need in the final third. In the 68th minute, it was a massive let-off because Wolfsberger plays some amazing football in our box, and to be credit to them, we just don't get tight to them, which is kind of evident in most games at the minute with this defence. We just let them manage to waltz into our box. I mean, it was a brilliant cutback from the Wolfsberger player into the player that has no one around him. He has a shot and he manages to smash it against the woodwork at the top of the goal, and it bounces down and out again. Lloris wasn't going to save it, and again, it was probably not great for Wolfsberger. They should have really got it in the back of the net, but luckily for us, it was a let-off, and we still sat at 3-1. We then see in the 77th minute that Højbjerg comes on to cycle off. Maybe that knock he got in the first half, which was pretty strong, maybe that's affecting him a little bit, and maybe Jose wants to keep him for the weekend. We see that Dele comes off and the Ndombele comes on. Dele's played well again tonight. There's glimpses of him again. I think sometimes he did hold the ball up too slow, but obviously that comes with match games and sharpness, and I feel like at the minute sharpness isn't just there, but he did play well tonight, credit to him. In the 87th minute though, we finally get another goal on the score sheet, and this time it's delicious Vinicius. It was a brilliant worked goal, and who was the man to put a lovely cross in? Højbjerg. He manages to cross it in, Lamela heads it on, Vinny's there to toe poke it the other way, so the keeper doesn't know what's hit him, and we go in at the end of the game at 4-1. So it's 4 amazing away goals. Like I say, it wasn't the best performance for Spurs because again we had that individual error right at the end, but I think that's inevitable at the moment being Tottenham. But nevertheless, a win away from home in the Europa League puts us into good stead for the weekend. Hopefully we'll be in positive mind for them, because we don't want to let West Ham win, let's be honest, because it will be their cup final and we know they'll be up for it. They are on high flying form at the moment, so it'd be great to knock them down a few pegs and manage to go there with a win. But nevertheless, thanks again for everyone for watching. We've actually reported a win for once. We're living lavish, but until next time, come on you Spurs.